Hi everyone, Transformation Diva every year. Welcome to another podcast presented by the Women's Consortium. Today I am chilling with Khalipha Ntloko. Khalipha, could you please introduce yourself to anyone that does not know you?
Cool. So, hey everybody. My name is Khalipha Ntloko, and I am currently a junior content marketer for a global media monitoring company. But outside of that, I do flat lay photography, and I also create like digital content for brands. That's just the cherry on top. But that's
Do
basically
you
what
do
I do.
visual
Yeah.
like as a freelancer?
So it definitely did start out as freelancing, and then it moved into becoming a hobby, and now it's something where I do get paid to create content for brands, whether
Awesome.
that's like actual money or it's like a trade exchange to build a relationship with them. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the place I'm at.
Awesome. So what encouraged you to go into the field of content creation, photography, and all of that? Is it something that you studied at university?
hmm So actually, like no, I studied psychology and sociology in my undergrad, and then I studied industrial sociology in my postgrad. So that's nothing from like it's far from marketing, but I definitely remember coming to Cape Town like way back in 2015 for first year, and
Mhm.
having like a camera. I asked my dad to please borrow me his camera, as a way for me to document my experience of growing, I guess, and blooming into whatever I was supposed to become here in Cape Town. So that's where like photography fell into the picture. I found myself loving taking photos of people and my experiences, going out to markets for food. So I enjoyed like the photography aspect of that. And then because I just felt like here I am in Cape Town, growing and blooming, I need a role model of sorts who can maybe help me figure and navigate this city out. I
Mhm.
felt like there was a lack in that, for me at least. There weren't like enough Black female content creators in the city for me to look up to. So I figured, okay, well, if I can't find anybody, be that somebody. And
Definitely.
that's where content then came into the picture.
Awesome. So what made you like actually go delve deep into flashlight photography as opposed to any other photography? What is it about
hmm
flashlight photography that you really enjoyed?
Yeah. So I think for me, because with photography, I started out really loving portraits. And I saw like I'm really good at this, like taking photos of people. I love it. It's really beautiful to capture people's faces and their experiences and just snap that. But I think with flat lay photography, the fact that it's just a different perspective, right? Like we in flat lays, you don't look at the world down, right? You're always looking at the world, head on or maybe up or at a 45-degree angle, but you don't often come across experiencing life looking down. I mean, if anything, like
Mhm.
mottos will tell you, like when life gets you down, look up. So
Yeah.
I think with flat lays, I remember just like this one time, first year, my cousin took me and his girlfriend shopping. And I got back home and I was like, I want to post this on Instagram, but I don't want to do it in the typical holding my shopping bag selfie and no, I figured let me just put them on my bed, take the photo from above and okay, share that. Um, and I think from there, the moment I like shared that and looked at that photo, I just thought, this is interesting. This is an interesting way to share content, to share images, to share my experience of life. And I
Mhm.
started digging deeper into it. And really, I think the moment it stuck for me was just realizing how it's such a big thing overseas, flat lay photography, and looking at how like in South Africa, actually, like you see flat lays all the time. It's in magazines, it's
Yeah.
in restaurant menus, like websites. You see it all the time. You're just not conscious of it. Whereas overseas, like
Mhm.
it's a thing. Like people know a flat lay photo is this. Here are the tips, the tricks, and how to do it. And so I think that's when it stuck for me. Like, okay, I want to take this seriously and maybe bring it here to South Africa or bring more awareness about flat lays in South Africa. yeah, that's what I've been doing, what I'm trying to still do now. But that's really my love for flat lays. Yeah.
Awesome. It seems like you're someone that, just goes with the flow, really. You follow your dreams, you follow your passions. What brings that about? How can you encourage other women watching this to also find their passion?
I think it's definitely a lot of realizing what it is that actually makes you genuinely happy, right? Like if you wake up on any given day, like what will put a smile on your face between the time you wake up and the time you go to bed? And once you tap into whatever it is that comes to mind that will actually bring you like genuine happiness, I think that's where you can start planting the seeds of, okay, then get passionate about what makes you happy. I know for me, I know like life happens, you have a job and you have to, put food on the table, put clothes on yourself. Like there's general life things you have to do that don't always make you happy. But I think it's just tapping into the things that if you wake up today and you think that making yourself coffee is going to bring a smile to your face, then tap into that. Maybe you might find yourself loving the art of creating coffee, and then you start bringing in a photo or taking photos of you making coffee, and suddenly you find yourself loving taking photos of coffee. Put that on social media. Next thing you know, you've got brands asking you, look, you're really good at this coffee photo thing. Let's talk. That all starts from you saying, today what would make me happy is a cup of coffee. So I think for any woman out there watching this, tap into the thing that will bring a genuine smile on your face, especially if it's something that you can put that smile on your face, right? Because it's easy for you to go get a smile on your face from somebody else, the cute little good morning text from Bay, the little like girls lunch that you'll have on Sunday, like those are all good. But I think it just starts with you, like what's going to make you happy and how can you get that happiness for you? Once you do that, plant the seed of passion and take it from there.
Yeah, it's so interesting that you mentioned the whole coffee thing. I literally have a friend who takes pictures of the coffees that she makes and the coffees that she buys. Like she loves coffee, and then it's a passion. She's got like an Instagram account and she just showcases the different types of coffees and different pictures, the different angles you can take coffees at. It's actually super amazing that you made that example. Like a lot of people will be like, coffee, really? Should I really do that? But there's people out there that are doing it. And right now she's like even having goals of opening up her own coffee cafe one day. So it really starts small. I'll definitely.
That's true. That's so true.
So your work at Maltswater, does that involve photography?
So the times it has involved photography was like when we had events in the office, and I just bring my camera along and I just snap like candid photos. But mainly there's a lot of like graphic design work. So a lot of like Photoshop, creating social media ads, social media banners, blog banners. So that's really like where the image and the photography aspect of my job would come in. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And do you enjoy your work? Like, I know a lot of people wake up in the morning and they're like, oh, do I really have to go to work today? So how do you find that, spirit to wake up in the morning to go to work? Is it something that, you first have to find the right job, or is it like something else that's within you maybe?
Yeah. So I think, like right now, I know I'm meant to be where I'm meant to be just because I've realized what I'm good at within the company and within the role. And I think that's the value of the internship I did with Meltwater first, was they gave me like an overview of what digital marketing is. And within that, I gradually found the things I liked within digital marketing. And now here I am in content, because that's actually what I love. It's what I did outside of Meltwater. It's what I do outside of Meltwater. So they saw that and they were like, content and you, it's a winning formula. But like sometimes you do come across, working in a job where you're like, I don't actually enjoy this. Like, why do I have to wake up today to go sit behind a desk and do ledgers or whatever it may be? But I think of it as like the value that you're bringing within the company, right? I think you aren't in a particular job doing a specific thing for nothing. There is value that the company itself has seen within you. And sometimes it can be a little bit tough for us to see that, because it gets mundane, it gets boring when you realize, oh, every day, God, I'm waking up, it's the same ledger, it's the same textbook every day. It might look like boring for you, but for the company, they see value in how you maybe are doing the ledgers, how quickly you can do the ledgers, or whatever the job may be. So I think my advice for anybody watching this, when it comes to, you know, finding the passion within your work and your job, remember that you're there for a particular reason. You might not know it right off the bat. It might not come to you immediately, but you have a purpose and you have value. Otherwise, you wouldn't be there if they didn't think you were valuable enough within the company to perform particular tasks. You're capable, you're able, that's why you're there. So remember that, and let that keep you going, that you're valuable within the company.
100%. Thank you so much for that, Khalipha. So let us quickly talk about, I know you got featured in Glamour magazine like few weeks ago. Don't blush now.
Yes.
About that experience.
So, man, it's so surreal actually when every time I actually think about it and realize that there's an actual story to this. So way back in February, I had like a moment of, you know what, one thing I want to achieve this year is to be featured in a magazine for my flat lays. And I really didn't know what magazine. I was just like, look, whatever magazine wants to feature me, let's do it. But I know that I can't let that idea or my thought on that just stick to my head. Like, I need to externalize that, because if it sits here, it's always going to sit here, and there's no spark that's going to enable the thought to become a reality. So I decided to, okay, so it's in my head, just put it out there, right? So I did that on Twitter. I was like, look, I don't know which magazine, I don't know, and I don't know which issue, I don't know which month, I don't know, but this is something I want to achieve this year. By God's grace, let's do it. And I think for me, it was very intentional for me to actually include God into the conversation and into the equation, because by myself, I was like, I don't know if I can actually do this on my own. But I know somebody upstairs who, you know, I can do all things through God who gives me strength. And well, that's it. Let's do it right here. So I did that, set it out to the world. I asked God, like, look, let's make this thing happen. Now, within that, I mean, I can't just like sit back and say, okay, God, let's make this thing happen, but you do all the work. I think it's very important for you, like a fire, you have to ignite it, right? You can ask God all you want, like, come through, help me out, but you got to meet him halfway, you know? So that's when I was like, okay, what are the publications that I'd like to be featured in? So at the time it was like Cosmo. So I reached out to the fashion editor of Cosmo, and she did actually reply and respond and said, this is cool. Let's look at it next month. And sadly, that publication house like shut down. So I was like, yeah, Cosmo's gone.
Shut down.
Yeah, the whole publication. Wow. I think Associated Media Publication's gone. It's so sad. Like, so many people were like, what? So yeah, so they shut down, and I thought, okay, cool. What other magazine would I actually really love to be featured in? And then I knew it was like Glamour is definitely like one up there. I buy their magazines all the time because I use them in my flat lays. So then I said, okay, Glamour, how are we gonna do this? Now it's a case of like, who do I need to email? Who do I need to call? Like, what do I need to do? So luckily, or maybe unluckily, I don't know, but by chance, I think it was the following day, the Glamour Instagram account did a whole like Q&A with the editor. Nice. So I came across the one question, and I just said, hey, look, I'm a flat lay photographer. What's it going to take for me to get featured into your magazine? And she actually replied. She was like, look, send me an email to this email address, and let's take the conversation further. And I was like, I was looking for this email address. Here I got it. Okay, things are aligning. So sent the email, sent my portfolio. The rest is history. And boom, I was featured in the magazine. It's so crazy. I'm just like, wow, this actually happened. But it definitely all started with, you have the thought, but you can't let it sit here, especially if it's something that you want to achieve. Don't let it sit here. Write it down, verbalize it, put it on, I don't know, social media, on your notepad or wherever. But make sure you externalize it so that you can see it. And from seeing it, you put action to it. And then from action, you just let it
Comes
go.
live. No, I absolutely agree with you on that. I remember I was watching a video like a couple of months ago, and like this guy was saying, "Hey, if you've got a dream, if you've got a goal, like don't just keep it to yourself, because like you won't be able to hold yourself accountable. Stand on top of the roof and shout it out for the world to know about whatever it is." And it was like saying that, the people that don't believe in you, they're gonna call you crazy, but the ones that do believe in you, they're going to like help you take action on those goals. So it's absolutely amazing that, here's an absolutely perfect example of how you can verbalize your goals and, pretty much speak things into existence. So
Yes.
big ups on that, Khalipha. Like, that is absolutely amazing. Like, I know you're one of the people that, I love reaching out to, because I know you're so passionate, you are ambitious, and you know exactly what it is you want out of life. So that is absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Look at me like blushing now.
But what drives you? What causes that fire? What causes that ambition?
I think actually I know it's the woman I aspire to be. I used to always say, like, what drives me would be, or what like gets me out of the bed in the morning is, seeing someone like Beyonce and how hard she works in her drive, and I want to be like that. So get up in the morning and be like that. But then I quickly realized that I'm not Beyonce. As amazing as she is, she has a completely different life, circumstances, like however she achieves her goals is going to be completely different to how I'll achieve my goals, which are not the same as Beyonce. So I stopped attaching, my drive and why I'm ambitious to other people, and just said, what drives me is who I'd like to become. And that would be a woman of humility, a woman who is a go-getter, who does go after the things that she wants, a woman who will help others in whatever way that she can. I want to be a woman who will educate. And those characteristics really are the thing that drive me. It's not like material things like I want to be rich and live in this big house. No, it's more of like who I want to be as a woman, my character. Those are the things that give me that ambition.
Awesome. So you say you want to educate women. So how can they, reach out to you and get that education from you?
Yeah. So I'm super, super open, like on social media. So whether you pop me a LinkedIn message, okay, don't do the Instagram DMs. Those are very dry and I'm hardly responsive there. But it's really as simple as tag me on social media. That's definitely one way you will get a reaction out of me, because I love to engage with people on social media. My blog as well, like if you see content on my blog, because I'm always trying to share information. So reaching out to me
Information
about? So I mean, right now it's a lot of, I have like reviews, like beauty reviews, and like some stuff that I use. I have like a bit of like travel, like information, people who want to go to Bali, maybe, for example. Like I've been there, but I was there as a beginner. So what are like the practical things you need to know? So yeah, like that type of information really. I think it's information that will enable people. That's what I love to do, is if you've been enabled with something from me, that's great. So yeah, reach out to me, social media, through my blog. Those are like the two main ways that you can get in touch with me.
Awesome. So Khalipha, what is the one thing that you would like tell any other woman that is listening to this video and or this podcast, and know they want to be like you in some way, like they want to do flat label photography, they want to follow their ambition? What is that one piece of information that you would give them?
Oh, just one. Just one. I think it's, first of all, give yourself affirmations that begin with I am and I can. It took me so long to believe in myself and actually start saying, I can be the next top flat lay photographer in South Africa. Growing up, especially like in Cape Town, finding my feet, it was a lot of resting on other people's opinions of me, or having people affirm me first before I could believe in myself. But with flat lay photography, it was a thing of like, nobody really knows about flat lays. It's something that's so niche. So now that I'm in this thing that no one really knows about, there really isn't a lot of people to affirm me. So I can't rely on other people's, yes, Khalipha, you can definitely be a flat lay photographer, because, hey, sure, when they don't even know what it is. So it definitely starts with affirming for you, and always telling yourself, I can complete the sentence that you want to say that you can do, or I am valuable within this job that I do. I can achieve the goal that you want to achieve by the end of the year. So I think that's my piece of advice, is speak positively about yourself, but when you do that, always affirm with I can and I am. Don't let it rest on other people. Always let it rest on you, because you'll never disappoint yourself. You can always disappoint other people, but you always have you. So yeah, I can.
That is absolutely amazing. Khalipha, thank you so much for joining us today. I know a lot of people will find a lot of inspiration from listening to this podcast or watching the video. So keep up the good work that you do. It is absolutely, absolutely amazing.
Thank you. I'll stop being shy. Next time, hopefully we do this, and maybe I'll be more sassy, and Beyonce will be shaking in her boots. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Bye.